Ladies and gentlemen, I have here a Dungeon Crawl Classics scratch-off character sheet. I bought these specifically to introduce people to Dungeon Crawl Classics because they could just sit down. They don't even have to roll a character. You just scratch it off. And I've never actually scratched these off because when I bought them, the pandemic hit. So I don't even know where do I start? See what my strength is. Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent, and we're back with another Dungeon Crawl Classics video. This one we're going to build a character. We're going to build a level 0 character, and then we will level him up to level 1. But we're going to see what we're going to play by the rules of the game. And then afterwards, we'll revisit these scratch sheets. And I will also show you an online tool that makes this process even easier. So let's dive in. So with this setup, I've got the Dungeon Crawl Classics core rulebook over here, and we have a level 0 character sheet. We're going to roll up a character using the standard rules, and then we'll see what class that gives us. Now for rolling, I'm going to use this program called The Crawler, which can be found at purplesorcerer.com. And that is the website we're going to talk about at the end of this video. They make a lot of Dungeon Crawl Classic stuff, and they actually have character generators and things like that, so you can build a character really quickly if you want to. So per the rules, we need to, number 1, roll ability scores. Number 2, determine our level 0 occupation. We need to choose an alignment, purchase equipment, and then we survive our first dungeon, and if we do, we level up to level 1, and then based on our chosen class, we might learn some spells and things like that. So we're going to do most of these. We're going to skip the whole surviving a first dungeon and just say they survive. Okay, so with this software, I had to figure it out. There's roll modifiers, so we can put modifiers on a roll, but we don't want that. We just want 3 dice, and we're going to roll 3d6 right down the line. I have all of our stats here. Now, right down the line means that I'm going to roll 3d6, and whatever we get is going to be my strength, and I just keep going down through that. So let's roll the first one. And it's a little sad it doesn't roll actual dice, but I have 3d6 equals 11 here, so we're going to go off of that. And then I'm going to roll again for agility. And that's going to be a 7. And then we're going to roll again. Stamina is going to be a 12. That is another 12 for personality. A 5 for luck. And a 13 for intelligence. So I'm not going to be a ranged character, and I'm not going to be very lucky, but like that's pretty decent for all the rest of it. So then we are also going to roll 1d4. Yes, we're going to roll 1d4 for our health. 1 health. So over here on Dungeon Crawl Class, or in the core rulebook, we can see our ability scores and what that turns into modifier-wise. Luck is going to be -2. And with a 13 intelligence, I actually have a +1 intelligence. So being a wizard with 1 HP, that's dangerous, but could be a lot of fun. Now, luck is a mechanic in Dungeon Crawl Classics where if I can be lucky or unlucky. In this case, I am unlucky. So a lot of the rolls, like critical hit rolls and things like that, I'm going to subtract my luck from that roll. So if I score a critical hit, I roll a natural 20, and I do so with a sword. And then on that, I'm going to go to a crit table, and I'll roll on said crit table. But let's say I roll a d10 on that crit table. Now I'm going to roll 1d10 -2. And that is because I am unlucky overall as a character. Luck also comes into the luck score. So we're going to see what does my luck affect because of my random birth into the world. So we're going to roll a d30 for this. So over here I have a d30. We get an 18. So an 18 says Guardian Angel. I have my luck modifier applies to saving throws to escape traps. Now that's not just saving throws, it's specifically to escape traps. Now that stinks because normally to escape traps, it's going to be a -1, but now it's going to be a -3 because I have to add my luck modifier to that. Saving throws, there are 3 saving throws. Reflexes, which this is going to go straight off of my agility. Stamina, which is fortitude, and that's going to go straight off of my stamina. And then the last one, personality, is will, and that also is going to go off of my personality, so it's going to just copy those over. Those change when I become level 1, but for right now, we're level 0. Languages. So we all know common. For each point of intelligence modifier, a character knows 1 additional language associated with the circumstances of his upbringing. These additional languages are established at 0 level. So I need to jump over to languages. So jumping back over here to the Appendix L, this is the very end of the book. They talk about how certain classes know certain languages. We're going to, because I have a +1 in intellect, I get a free language. So here is % chance to know language by class, 0 level human. So I'm going to roll a D100 and we're going to see what I get. All right, so I rolled a 45. So I actually know gnome. I know gnome. The next thing we're going to do is occupation. So we're going to create an occupation here. We're going to roll percentile die again to see what occupation I get. And there's a whole bunch here. There's gravedigger, farmer, blacksmith, barber. Like what were you before adventure was thrust upon you? Now some of these you'll notice say like dwarven blacksmith. Like there's a blacksmith and then there's a dwarven blacksmith. So if I am a blacksmith, I am a human blacksmith, and I can choose to be the human classes, such as wizard or warrior, thief, things like that. But if I am a dwarven blacksmith, then my class has been chosen for me because I am a dwarf, and your race is also your class. So if I get dwarven or elven something, then I'm going to be, or halfling, then I'm going to be that. Otherwise, I have a bunch of different stuff that I can do. And this also translates into a trained weapon. So you start the game off knowing how to use a certain weapon, and you have that weapon. Now, some of them are kind of funny, like I have a hammer, but it acts as a club. Or I have a razor, but it acts as a dagger. And I have a chisel, but it acts as a dagger. So you get a lot of these different ones that are fun and interesting. We're going to roll a D100 to see what my occupation is. And it's 85. So jumping all the way over to page 2, I am a shaman and I have a mace and my trade goods are herbs. And that's it. So let's roll my random piece of equipment, which is on table 3-4. All right, here's table 3-4. This is a D24 roll. So we're gonna roll this and see what I get. This could be really good or really bad. We get flint and steel. So with this guy, why don't we just play off of this high intelligence and let's make a wizard? Let's do it. So I think this is going to be our wizard. So instead of using the level 0 sheet here, we're gonna switch over to a wizard sheet. So here's our wizard sheet. Which means I'm going to copy this stuff in here because this is form fillable, so I can add this, which I really like. So let's go through. Our name will be Will the Wizard. So here we are on the wizard table, or the wizard part of the core rulebook, and I get another D4 hit points at each level. So I leveled up to 1, so I get to roll another D4 to see how many hit points I get. Another 1, guys. We're at 2 hit points. So this is something unique to wizards, is that we get to make specifically... you can choose a patron if you so desire. So we have a whole bunch of different patrons here. We're going to choose Cesricon the Elder. My base spell check is 1d20 plus 2. 1 for my level and 1 for my intelligence. I don't have a familiar. I don't have any corruption. Any other notes? I know 4 spells. Now the other thing, oh, and we can look at our, if I am a chaotic, I'm a cultist level 1. So my title would be Cultist Will the Wizard. And so this is our level 1 character. This is bad, but that's part of the fun of Dungeon Crawl Classics. All right, so for spells, we're going to roll a d30 because it is 1 to 27 and I just don't have it. So we get a 23. So my first spell is Sleep. My second spell is 25 Ventriloquism. Third spell, Word Portal. And fourth spell, Comprehend Languages. Now, there's a rule. If you don't roll an actual offensive spell, you can swap one of the ones you have for that. So I'm going to take out Comprehend Languages since I speak like 5 languages, and we're going to do Flaming Hands instead. So now I've got my 4 spells down here. We're going to go back to our DCC spellbook, and we're going to talk about Mercurial Magic. So Mercurial Magic is the weird possibilities that happen when I learned this spell. And we roll a percentile die for each of the spells that we have. Now, because of my luck being -2, I'm going to take a minus 20% to that roll. So this guy's going to have not the best time. But let's give it a shot. We're going to roll percentile die. We rolled 62. So that is 62%, but we actually have to go to 52 and 42, which is no change. The spell manifests as standard. And then I go to Ventriloquism, and we roll again. And that is 68. So then we go to 58 and 48, and that again is no change. And then we go to Ward Portal, and that is 94. So we're going to go 84, 74. And 74 is Tide of Ash. All living vegetable matter within 10 feet per spell level is reduced to ash. That's fun. Vegetative creatures caught within this radius take 1d 14 points of damage. So when I cast this spell, I also have this effect of turning living vegetable matter to ash. And then last but not least, Flaming Hands is going to get a 3. So that is real bad. It's in the negatives. Let's go check what happens with 0. At great cost, every time the wizard casts this spell, someone he knows dies. Love it. So those are my spells. Now, this is the longer, it's a longer way to do this. If you want to roll up a character and just kind of have fun, or if your character died and you want to create it, there's a website that we're going to check out. And this is Purple Sorcerer Games. You can go to purplesorcerer.com. Again, this is not affiliated or anything. They're just a really great tool. So over here in tools, specifically, we can do a 0-level party generator. You can do a Mutant Crawl Classics, which we haven't talked about, but that's another one. And then upper level character generator. We also have Sorcerer's Grimoire, which we can use to create a spellbook for our character. If they are a cleric, wizard, or elf, and it automatically adds the Mercurial Magic so you remember what it does when you cast that spell. It's pretty cool. So 0-level party generator, access the generator. There's options here. If I don't want to play elves or dwarves or halflings, maybe you're doing a specific campaign where there are no dwarves or elves. So you can get those out of the way. We can increase our die method. So I could be 3d6 or I could do 4d6, and there's a whole bunch of other ones. So if you want to do some powered characters, you can. So let's roll this right now. So this is a character sheet that you'll probably become familiar with, especially with 0-level funnels. Because your characters can die quite easily, it's encouraged to have at least 4 going in so that hopefully 1 or 2 of them can survive by the end. So here I've got a 2 hit point locksmith, who has a luck of 0, but a high intelligence. I've got a halfling haberdasher, that has a pretty decent agility, so this would be a good one to play. An elven navigator with a really high luck. That's awesome. And he gets a +1 to turn unholy checks with that. But his personality is 9, so I can't make him a cleric. He's elven. And then a soldier over here who has a luck of 2, and it says, I was born under the loom, so I get a +2 to skill checks, including thief checks. Now, I have an agility of 5, But that lucky +2 could be really fun for a thief. So maybe a thief is the way to go. Or with that +2 luck and a 12 intelligence, I could get some really interesting mercurial magic at +20%. So jumping over here, we're going to go to the upper level character generator. Now, if you want to bypass the 0 level funnel, or maybe your level 2 character died and you want to create a new one jumping in, this is the way to go. So I'm going to create a 4d6 character just for fun. And we're going to do all of this stuff is pretty standard. And you know what? Let's make a elf. And our elf is going to be neutral. And he's going to be unarmored. Well, maybe we'll give him some padded armor. He's going to have a weapon. What is he going to have? He's going to have a longsword. And his second weapon, he's going to have a longbow. It's pretty awesome. So this is an upper level character PDF. And this is a nice one where you can reroll low rolls for the 2 most important stats to kind of not have a broken character. And let's create this character. So here's our elf. We have an 8 in strength, a 10 agility, 7 in stamina. That's not the best. But our luck and intelligence and personality are pretty high. And with an elf, I really wanted a good luck and intelligence. And I kind of wanted a good strength. But it looks like we have a +2 to missile attacks. So maybe I can just be at range and cast spells, but also use my bow, which would be kind of fun. It also rolled my spells for me. So I have Patron Bond, and I have Invoke Patron, Charm Person, and Rope Work. So those are the 3 things, or these are my 4 spells, but Patron Bond is separate. And I'll get into that when I actually talk about patrons, but we'll get into that, so yeah. So we have our character here, our elf, and we have our spells. And I'm going to go back over here to Sorcerer's Grimoire, and we're going to build our spell book, which you could just take and then print or put it wherever. So I'm an elf. I'm level 1. Now it says here, like, do you want random spells? So I don't even have to choose those, but I'm going to select the spells that we rolled earlier. But we're going to get random mercurial magic. And then it asks, what's your intelligence? And my intelligence over here is 13. So we're going to say 12 to 13. My luck is also 13. So we get a +10% to mercurial magic. Patron, we get to select a patron, which is some supernatural being. There is a really good elf one, the King of Elfland. So we're going to choose that. My caster is Elfer McElferson. And with that, we're going to select, it's going to ask me on the next page, I have to select my spells. So with this, we have Charm Person, Rope Work, and Sleep. So let's go Charm Person. And then here's our spell. So what I want you guys to look at here, and I'll zoom in, is the mercurial magic is right here. So this is auditory feedback. The spell is always associated with unusual sounds. So when I cast Charm Person, we roll a d6, and there's like weird sounds in the background. Other than that, it works completely fine. So it's just a normal spell. Rope Work, my mercurial magic is karmic casting. Now, before making the spell check, the wizard can choose to add or subtract 1d5 from the roll. If the caster adds 1d5, the next time he casts a spell, he must subtract 1d5 and vice versa. After 2 castings, the karma is reset and the wizard again gets to choose what modifier to use, if any. So that's really fun. So if I cast Rope Work, I could boost it for this round, but then the next time I cast it, it's not going to be fun. And then Sleep, my mercurial magic, is spell by proxy. The wizard can choose another person or object to deliver the spell in his stead. He must first touch the proxy and then cast the spell, which does not take effect at the time. The proxy releases the spell a number of rounds later equal to 1d4 plus the spell's level. Non-intelligent proxies automatically release the spell at this time. Intelligent proxies can release it at will at any point prior to the time indicated. So that, I like that a lot. So I could cast Sleep on somebody, on a squirrel, and have the squirrel run into danger and then release that sleep and put everyone to sleep. So that's kind of fun. that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. If you are going to play Dungeon Crawl Classics, I hope you use some of these tools, but I do encourage you to go through and build a character your first time, just so you understand what you're rolling and how. And it can be a little sad when you get -2s in certain things, or you roll 1 hit point, or let's say your stamina is -1 and you roll a 1 on your hit points. Well, that -1 affects your hit points, and so you would have 0 hit points, and so your character died before he even got to adventure, which is quite sad. But there is a certain, however, it is difficult for me to really explain the thrill of having your 1 hit point character make it through a 0 level funnel and get to level 1. And then when you become a thief and you roll like a D8 or a D10, and all of a sudden now you have maybe 7 hit points, it can be really cool that you got that guy to survive through that 0 level funnel. It can be really awesome. You would be surprised how attached you get to the characters going through a funnel, and then want to keep playing them and allow them to survive longer and explore more things and gain more treasure. Ooh, an 11 strength with a modifier of 0 and agility. For hit points, I have a -1 stamina. Okay, 2 hit points. Armor class is 11. Speed. Guys, I didn't check my occupation. I think I'm a dwarf. I'll name him Dwarven Steve. If you are interested in any of the things that I've talked about today, like these character sheets can be found on Goodman Games' website, the core rulebook and all of that other stuff, I'll have affiliate links down below if you want to pick some of that up. And let me know if you're playing Dungeon Crawl Classics. Let me know if you are just starting it for the first time or all that other stuff. What did you roll? Did you get that magic 18? I played a game at Gen Con with a character that had an 18 in luck, and it was amazing, because I got a +3 to like so many cool things. So that's it for right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and all that jazz. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.